Hi guys, welcome to the Positivity Campaign. My name is Nitin Sajdeva, co-chair for Meeting Means Business India. And today I have with me Mr. Gopinath Nair, who is the founder and CEO of Tourism DNA, which is a MICE and a leisure outfit for the last 10 years. He has been in the industry for almost 3.5 decades, working with companies like Amex, Cox and Kings, Pony, and Travel and Tours. Thank you so much, Gopi, for joining the Positivity Campaign.
It's a pleasure, Nitin. Always a pleasure to talk to a good friend.
Well, my first question is how has been the lockdown for you all of these weeks? I think we have been under lockdown for over 8 weeks now. How has been this time for you? I'm sure this was stressful, but how did you take and cope with it in a positive and a productive way?
So, Nitin, at the outset, it's been a very interesting 2 months actually, because I've been able to achieve a lot that I could not do in a normal routine, and I've been able to use this time for good measure, and do things. Some of the things that I love doing, like singing, networking, and obviously got my plan B into place, and now that is kicking off next month. You guys will get to hear about it sometime in the month of June, and also been attending some webinars, some phone calls, some talking to the team, and also enriching myself with new knowledge. I've just enrolled for a Harvard University program uh, on public speaking and also contract law. So that's keeping me very very busy. I don't think I've had a dull moment in the last 2 months. Let me put it that way. Enjoying it thoroughly. Of course, I'm missing one of the things that I love most, which is traveling, which I'm sure will come back in a few months' time.
Great. I think you have caught up on a lot of productive things that is keeping you busy, which is great to hear. What are the key actionable points that you think you can recommend for two category of people that I'm going to talk here? Is one is business owners and the second one is employees, because I think both are pretty nervous of the situation because it's uncertain time and they're looking for different opinions, perspectives. So I would want to have your opinion and perspective, because I think leaders like you, we have to come forward and give out our thought process. So what is your thought process for these two parties?
Nitin, I think a lot of us in the travel and tourism and hospitality segment have been exposed to an unending array of webinars and gyan being given by industry experts and also experts. Now, I'll add my 2 cents to it. From a business owner perspective, I think we are going through one of the worst periods in our lifetime, and I don't think the any industry for that matter, but specifically travel and tourism industry, we've been hit the hardest because not having income for many months, starting from February, and I don't see this problem getting solved before maybe a September or an October. It's bad news. Everybody knows about that. But what can you do as a business owner? One, most critical is to remain very very positive, because if you let your guard go at this stage, it's not only you that's going to suffer, but also the people around you and your team. What can you do in this environment? One is that you need to focus your energy on doing things which are going to, get you return in the near term. For example, and I've shared it in one of my blogs on LinkedIn, is start focusing on domestic, but that's going to be your savior. This I said almost 1.5 months ago. The domestic is going to be your savior. And if you are not into domestic, quickly turn that around, get into domestic, get specialized information. There are a lot of webinars which are going on, and one of the best series that I've seen are from the Government of India Tourism Department. Amazing, series of webinars. And I think you should get hold of those tapes and go through them, which I'm planning to do over the next few days. Enrich your knowledge. Number two is focus on a few destinations that you can excel in. Don't do 20 destinations in India. Choose the 3, 4, 5 destinations that you can really be an expert at. Connect with vendors and your partners in those destinations. Read up about it. This is the time for you to catch up on reading. Get your product development team in place. and get them to start creating itineraries. There's a lot of time on your hands now, so you can actually experiment with a lot of things. Don't worry too much about the pricing at this stage because pricing is market driven, and you'll probably, if you wait, you'll get very good prices when things start rolling again. Ensure that your team is motivated because this is a time that motivation can take a big hit. So you need to keep in touch with them, and communication is one of the best forms of motivation. But just communicating is not going to be enough because a lot of businesses are going to collapse. And in this period, you should have a plan B to ensure that your key people stay back with you.
Hmm.
There's going to be retrenchment. There's going to be reds, pink slips given to a lot of people. And what can you do? Because it's not in your control. It's not in the employee's control. So to that extent, I think remain focused, get them engaged all the time. And if you are not able to hold on to that person or people, let that parting be very peaceful.
Hmm.
And use your network to get them a new job if it is possible. We don't know when it's going to be possible. And it's also critical that you conserve cash because if you don't do that, then you will very soon run out of business. And that's as far as business owner is concerned. Coming to an employee's perspective, very very hard times indeed. But as an employee, what can you do? Because you're also caught up in the same situation.
Yeah.
One of the things that you can do is that you can upskill yourself. You can learn new skills. This is the time for you to get on to new e-learning platforms. For example, if you are a tour operator employee, you are in the operating part of the business. You do not know how to use Excel. Go get an Excel training then online. This is the 2-3 months that will help you, engage with your team members and enhance your knowledge and skills. That's one. Second is remain absolutely positive and confident. Your attitude, what you exhibit at this stage, it's going to make all the difference between being a winner or being left behind when COVID ends. Third, ensure that your CV is updated. Get as many recommendations as possible. Get as many references as possible. Talk to people. People have all the time in the world
Yeah.
to help you in brushing up your CV. Get a professional CV sample on the internet and use it. Last but not least, ensure that you're well networked. Because when you have to approach somebody three months from now or 2 months from now, I think it's important that you start developing the network. For example, LinkedIn is a great platform for you to develop your network. I have over 5,000 people following me on LinkedIn. So it's an amazing opportunity for you to do that. And use this time to do things that you love doing. For example, it could be reading, it could be singing, it could be watching movies. Catch up on all those movies. There is one I want to leave the employees and the business owners with one recommendation of a book that you must read. It is written by Victor, Man's Search for a Meaning. Man's Search for a Meaning. Google it. It's one of the most enlightening books, and it will actually ensure that you remain very, very buoyant, very motivated, and you'll have a fantastic attitude. It's written after the World War II, after he was imprisoned by the Nazis in concentration camps. So what they went through, I don't think we are going through anything, even 1% of that during COVID. So if he can come out of it, if Victor can come out of it, I'm sure we all can come out of it. This is not the end of the world. Let's be very very positive on that. Few months from now, we are all going to come back slowly but surely.
Well, thank you so much, Gopi, for sharing so many great thoughts for both the parties. And I think over and above, I think they both are in the same boat, I would say. And everybody's on the same, I would say, a challenge that they are facing. Somebody's facing a challenge running his business, somebody's facing a challenge to keep up with job. But I think it's a time of sacrifice, and it's a time of learning. Of course, you learn upskill, but you also have to sacrifice something to get something new. which is what I get from your messaging. Well, thank you so much, Gopi, for sharing all of your positive thoughts, and I'm sure everybody will benefit out of that.
Absolutely. Pleasure, Nitin, and always good to speak to your friend. Thank you.
Thank you so much.